Come on, future me editing. You know that the intro comes after the fact that I sit down. So the fact that you're editing this in for comedic value too early, I don't appreciate that. Now you roll the intro. Thank you. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Ernest Ariano III. Channel's name is The Third Ernest. Y'all guys are the third family. As you can see, we are back on the Lupe train and we are right in the thick of shit, fam. This is when it starts getting real good. Today we got the coolest, which is the third stop in the Michael Young history saga. And this is when Michael Young history, this is when he meets the streets for the first time, and this is when he gets seduced for the first time by everything that the streets and the game has to offer. He finally has a chance to get in on that, and he's trying to cash out. He Say, She Say set the foundation for the fatherless household and how it plays a factor into these young boys and young men trying to get into the streets because they had nobody to guide them. So let's just get into this, fam, and see what we got with the coolest, because this song, in my personal opinion, is one of the strongest in the Michael Young history story, if we're talking specifically about the storyline. If you're wondering why I got this golf polo on, literally was golfing. Played like shit, but got a nice little buzz out there on the course though. And that's really all that matters. Wearing fly ass clothes, catching a buzz, shooting low 90s. That's my game right there. But let's go.
The coolest nigga what? 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 Lord, please have sympathy and forgive my cool young history as the coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what? The coolest nigga what?
We haven't even started the song yet, and we're already asking forgiveness for Michael Young history and his ways of thinking that are going to lead to his demise. Like, whenever he gets up into heaven, please forgive him for his ways because he didn't know any better. Sick.
I love the law, but sometimes it's like that I love me more. I love the peace and I love the war. I love the seas and I love the shore. No love for no beach, baby, that's law. But she doesn't see, therefore I spoil. I trick.
He says, I love the Lord, but sometimes it's like I love me more. Like I love myself more so that I'm gonna lead down the path of unrighteousness in order for me to be popular here on earth, as opposed to living the path of righteousness so that way I can live in the kingdom of heaven forever. I love myself more, so I'm gonna be selfish with my life here on earth. He says, I love the peace and I love the war. I love the seas and I love the shore. Just talking about everything that he loves. Like he can't stick to one lane. Like he wants to have the righteousness, but he also wants to have the righteousness here while he's immortal. But you can also flip it to C's, as in C notes, as in $100 bills, as in he loves the money. More wordplay from Lupe Fiasco, always. I love the peace and I love the war. More wordplay, literally peace, but also war. But peace is what you call a weapon of war, like a handgun, like bring me to peace. And then he says, no love for no beach, baby, that's law. And obviously you're thinking beach because he's talking about seas, shore. So it ends up, we're talking on like a beach thematic element of the song. But literally beach can be heard as bitch, like no love for no bitch, baby, that's law. And that's one of the commandments of the streets, is that you don't fall in love with these women. These women are only out here as distractions, famo, so don't be falling in love with women. Don't have no love for no bitch. You could be after lust, but never love.
But she doesn't see, therefore I spoil. I trick, I fall, run up and raw. I love her with all my heart. Every vein, every vessel, every bullet large. With every flower that I ever took apart. She said that she would give me great.
Bruh, the foreshadowing in the song. If you remember the cool, if you joined us for the cool portion of the journey, he's literally sitting in the casket talking about the chain that he still had and they couldn't find, and the bullets from his enemies sat like 2 inches behind it. He's foreshadowing in a whole nother album 3 years later to the fact that that song, The Cool, about the zombie coming back to the life and trying to get back into the game is out of order in the story. That's important to know because in Food and Liquor, we heard the beginning of Michael Young history and we heard the very end of Michael Young history. Like him being resurrected. That's literally the beginning and end of this entire saga. We're listening to Michael Young history talk about himself. This is his story that he's telling us, and how he loves the streets. And he loves it with all his heart, every vein, every vessel, every bullet lodged. Like he's saying right here that he would die for the streets, but he doesn't even know that he's speaking it into existence. But we know as the listeners because we already heard the cool. That's such a sick concept, and it hits even harder because of the fact that the cool is out of order, so we already know that he's gonna die. So everything that he's saying right here at this point is just foreshadowing, and we already know the consequences of that foreshadowing. And then the way he talks about the love for the streets and how it's a gamble, but he doesn't say it like that. He says it in a very poetic way. With every flower that I ever took apart, like she loves me not, she loves me not, because that's the love-hate relationship that you have to have with the streets. That's fire.
With every flower that I ever took apart, she said that she would give me greatness, status, placement above the others. My face with grace covers of the magazines of the hustlers, paper, the likes of which that I had never seen. Her eyes glow green with the logo of our dreams, the purpose of our scene, our obscene obsession for the bling. She would be my queen, I could be her king. Together, she would make me cool, and we would both rule forever.
If you didn't realize by now, if I didn't tell you that he's the cool in the song The Cool, he literally just said it. He foreshadowed to the fact that he's the cool. And she would make me cool and we would both rule forever. She literally did make him cool because he lost his life to the streets. But you hear how the streets, how she's tempting him. She would give me greatness, status placement above others. My face would grace the covers of the magazines of the hustlers. Like she's just saying, I can give you all of these things. These things are guaranteed to you if you just come and fall in love with me. And this is why people fall for the streets and fall victim to her. Paper, the likes of which that I had never seen. Her eyes glow green with the logo of our dreams, the purpose of our scene, an obscene obsession for the bling. If you remember back in the video, He Say, She Say, where I explained the concept and I put the picture of the streets on there, he's literally talking about the conceptual figure of the streets. Because he says her eyes glow green with the logo of our dreams. And the logo of the dreams is the money sign. And the street's character, her eyes are that green money sign. But the way he says it, just the flow is so smooth. And the rhyme scheme that he uses. Green with the logo of our dreams, purpose of our scene, obscene, obsession for the bling, she would be my queen. Like if you heard somebody promise you all this, it would seem like it's too good to be true. But whenever this is all you know, whenever this is your only measure for success, how are you not gonna go for it? Whenever they make it seem like it's so easy. And you notice here how she never said anything about, oh, by the way, you might die. I'm just gonna promise you all these things and not tell you about the fine print.
She would make me cool and we would both rule forever. And I would never feel pain and never be without pleasure ever again. And if the rain stops and everything's dry, she would cry just so I could drink the tears from my eyes. She'd teach me how to fly, even cushion my fall if my engines ever stall and I plummet from the sky. But she would keep me high, and if I ever die, she would commission monuments on her bosom to him. Or maybe she retire as well. A match made in heaven, set the fires in hell, and I'll be the coolest.
Bruh. He said if the rain stops and everything's dry, like literally the rain, the downpour because they're flooding the streets, but also the rain as in king and queen, the way they reign over made man. And she teach him how to fly, even cushion his fall if his engines ever stall and he plummet from the sky, but she would keep me high. Saying the same exact thing. I promise to keep you up. I promise to keep your status placement above others, even if for some reason your engines stall. She's handing out false promises that if everything goes awry and nothing goes according to plan, I'm still gonna be there for you to take care of you. When you and I know that's not the case. And he doesn't know anything about being fly or having swag or drip or whatever you want to call it, because he comes from poverty. So she would literally teach him how to fly, like be fly above the rest, but literally be fly as in the swag. That if he ever died, she would commission his image on her bosom. Because again, if you remember the image of the streets, she has all of her slain victims tattooed on her chest. So he's saying the same thing in a much more eloquent way. Instead of saying she'll tattoo my name on her chest, she commissioned my image. Like a commission is literally what you call a painting for somebody. So technically speaking, a tattoo is a commission. And this is the most gullible line in the whole song. Or maybe she retire as well. He's done seeing all of the tattoos of all the victims, but he's saying, no, she really loves me. She wouldn't keep going after me. If I die, she couldn't move forward without me. Foolish. It's the same people that, oh, my boyfriend was a habitual cheater before, but he's not like that with me. He loves me. He'll never do that to me. Bitch, yes, he is gonna do that to you. And then the bar at the very end, a match made in heaven set the fires in hell. Like the streets and me are a match made in heaven. That's what they say about relationships that seem to be so perfect. But literally match, as in strike a match, set the fires in hell. Dope line.
Coolest nigga, what? The coolest nigga, what? And so began our reign, the Trinity, her and I came. No other man could ever stand where her and I came. Hella hard, umbrella, whatever, apply with over pellet pains. And pray to God that the floods subside. Cause you gon' need a sub till he does reply. And not one of Jared's, you think it's all arid and everything's irie.
He says, and so began our reign, like literally flooding the streets with product, like I was saying, flooding the streets with cocaine. But began our reign because she's my queen and I'm her king, and we're reigning over the streets together. We're reigning over the city. The Trinity, her and I, Cain. The amount that my mind was blown when I heard that line for the first time. The Trinity, he's obviously speaking blasphemous, because the Holy Trinity, when you think of the Trinity, is going to be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. But he's talking about the Trinity, her and I, the streets, me, and cocaine. Her and I, Cain. But once again, back to the weather theme, her, I, Cain, hurricane, flood the streets, began our reign. No weatherman could ever stand when her and I came. You've seen weathermen out there in the middle of hurricanes trying to bear the struggle of the wind and the rain and things like that. It comes down hella hard. Like me and her are hella hard, our pairing is hella hard, but also talking about the rain. Put plywood over your pellet panes because the rain is coming so hard that we're gonna break through those pellet panes. Do you see the complexities in this man's lyrics? That's 4 lines, and so much is being said within that 4 lines. Crazy. Their rain is coming down so hard that you gotta pray to God that the floods subside. And it's raining so much you can't even use a boat or a ship. You gotta have a sub until God does reply with his answer. And not one of Jared's. I'm talking about a submarine, not a sub sandwich. Jared was the sponsor for Subway before he went to prison for like 1,000,000 years for child pornography and pedophilia. Sick. The lyrics and Jared. Sick.
And not one of Jared's, you think it's all arid and everything's irie. Another supply, that means another July inside my endless summer. That was just the eye of the hunger. Felix, cause he is the cleanest amongst the younger, outstanding, achieving up and comers. The ones that had deadbeat daddies and well-to-do mamas, but not well enough to keep them from us.
You think it's all arid and everything's irie. Another supply, that means another July inside my endless summer. Like you think it's all well and good. The floods have subsided, we're back to normal. Another supply, we got another re-up. Now we're flooding the streets once again. That was just the eye of the hunger. Felix, cause he is the cleanest amongst the outstanding achieving up and comers. That is like a double, triple, quadruple meaning bar right there. Triple, quadruple entendre, whatever you want to call it. He's saying that was just the eye of the hunger Felix. Felix Unger was a character in The Odd Couple, the TV show The Odd Couple. So first off, the show The Odd Couple, the streets and the cool are an odd couple. Felix Unger in the show, Unger is a brand name of a cleaning company. So he's talking about Felix Unger. He is the cleanest amongst the younger, outstanding, achieving up and comers. So we're talking about a cleaning product, talking about how he's the cleanest. But also, Felix was the name of a Category 5 hurricane back in the day. So we're still on the hurricane theme. And then that was just the eye of the hunger Felix because he is the cleanest. The eye of the hurricane, you thought that everything had subsided and everything was cool and irie. But really that was just the eye of the hurricane. That was the eye of Felix. Because now that the eye's passed and we re-upped, we're reflooding the streets. I don't even know how many different meanings there are in that line right there. And now he's talking about seducing little kids that were once in his position, talking about seducing them with the streets, because he's the cleanest of the outstanding, achieving up and comers, the ones that had deadbeat daddies and well-to-do mamas. And then the demonic voice in the background, but not well enough to keep them from us. And that's exactly what I said during He Say, She Say. Like, yes, the mom is doing all she can, but normally speaking, the mom can't do everything on her own. So they're doing well, the well-to-do moms, but not well enough to keep the boys from the street life. And that line would not hit as hard unless that demonic voice was in the background, because that demonic voice is literally the game talking in the background. Michael Young History thinks he has the control, but really it's the game that has the control in the background, and the cool is just a puppet for the game.
The ones that had deadbeat daddies and well-to-do mamas, but not well enough to keep them from us. The ones that were fighting in class, who might not pass. Rap record pressured to laugh at a life not fast. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? That's when I got asked, do I love her? Do I love her? Said I don't know. Streets got my heart, game got my soul. One time some sunshine would never hurt your soul. Quote.
Still talking about the kids that are in the same position that he once was. Remember how in He Say, She Say, the grades were slipping? They're starting to use red markers on my work. The teachers say I know I'm much smarter, but I'm hurt. The ones that were fighting in class who might not pass, rap record pressure to laugh at a life not fast. Basically saying that rap is the reason why these kids think the way they do, because they think that quick money is the means to success. And then now his girlfriend, his actual girlfriend, not the streets, is asking him, do I love her? He said, I don't know, because the streets got my heart and the game got my soul. I don't know if there's any room for you. Then he says, one time missing sunshine will never hurt your soul. Literally using two songs on Food and Liquor, Sunshine and Hurt Me Soul. And Sunshine is talking about meeting a chick and how she's his sunshine. And now here he is falling in love with the streets, and she no longer means what she used to mean to him. She's no longer the sunshine. The song is dope AF.
Some sunshine would never hurt your soul. Quote, to a crying, dishonored baby mama, who's the mama to a daughter that I had fathered from afar. My new lady gave me a Mercedes and a necklace with a solid gold key, like the starter of a car, the opener of a door, or 2 pounds of raw. You gave me a baby, but what about lately? Then ha 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 hard, right up in her face, G, that's more fish in the sea. I'm on my mission to be the coolest nigga, what? The coolest nigga, what?
Those bars right there are so sad. He was so angry and hurt as a kid because his father left him. And then after he fell in love with the girl, he fell in love with the street life because the mom did everything she could, but it wasn't enough to keep him away from the street life. And now here he is basically doing the same exact thing that his dad did to him. I quoted to a crying, dishonored baby mama who's the mama to a daughter that I had fathered from afar. Like I knocked her up, but I fathered her from afar, like I was never really in the daughter's life. My new lady, the streets, gave me a Mercedes and a necklace with a solid gold key like the starter of a car, the opener of a door, or 2 pounds of raw. Literally a key, 1 kilo is 2.2 pounds of cocaine. My new lady gave me all of these things. She kept up with all of her promises. You gave me a baby, but what about lately? Like a baby is not enough? You see that twisted way of thinking? Then he laughed right up in her face. Gee, there's more fish in the sea. I don't need you, bitch. I'm on my mission to be the coolest. That's #1 priority right now. Such a twisted way of thinking.
The coolest nigga, what? The coolest nigga, what? Come, these are the tales of the cool. Guaranteed to go and make you fail from your school. And seek unholy grails like a fool. And hang with the players of the pool. Fast talking on the hustle. No heaven up above you, no hell underneath ye, and nowhere will receive thee. So shed no tear when we're not here. And keep your faith as we chase the cool.
Bruh. Come here, kids, gather round. These are the tales of the cool. Guaranteed to go and make you fail from your school. And seek unholy grails like a fool. Don't be seeking these things. Don't be this person. Don't be the cool. Because these unholy grails, they don't mean shit when you're dead. And hang with the players of the pool. So many different meanings on that line. Players of the pool, fast talking on the hustle. Like pool players and pool sharks are known to hustle people out of money. But there's also a poem entitled We Real Cool, the Players of the Pool. And you know Lupe does his research when it comes to poems and poets and things like that he can interject within his lyrics. No heaven up above you, no hell underneath you, and no one will receive thee. Like no one's gonna receive you, heaven or hell, which is exactly why the cool comes back to life after being buried, because he's stuck in this infinite loop of dying due to the game, being buried, coming back, dying due to the game, being buried, and coming back. Everything that's in this song is the same that's in the song The Cool. And it's dope to know the ending before you know the beginning, because when things are happening in the beginning, you're like, oh, that's his demise right there. It's like watching Star Wars episode 4, 5, and 6, and then going back watching 1, 2, and 3, and how Anakin had the hate inside of him in order to become Darth Vader. And we saw all the consequences first, but then when 1, 2, and 3 came out, we saw the buildup of how we got to those consequences. So that foreshadowing was no longer foreshadowing because we already knew. That's basically the same concept that Lupe did right here in putting this song after The Cool. And even all the way down to the chain, my lady gave me a Mercedes and a necklace with a solid gold key. And that's the chain that The Cool had used to dig himself out of his burial plot. his tarnished gold chain that he loosened up the earth with. So happy to be back on the Lupe train. I hope y'all guys enjoyed this song because like I said, this is one of my favorite songs. This song is actually one of the ones that got me into Lupe Fiasco in the first place. Hurt Me Soul obviously got me into the poetic, lyrical, conscious side of Lupe. But this song made me realize that Lupe is a poetic, lyrical, and conceptual genius. But yo, I appreciate everybody that's here on this journey. As you know, and as we know, these videos are not gonna get more than a couple thousand views at the very most. So I appreciate everybody that's rocking, especially the people who were not Lupe fans before, but you gave him a chance and you realize, oh shit, no wonder this dude keeps on talking about him. No wonder he has so many references to him. But as I've said before, check out the Patreon, link in the description below if you want to help support the channel. As you know, reaction channels, they normally get demonetized from the very get-go, and there's really no way of us getting around that. Even if we consider this fair use, which if you ask me breaking down this song is going to be considered fair use because it's not just a reaction, but it's still going to get struck anyway. So really the only way for me to monetize the channel and the only way for me to pay the bills that support the channel is going to be the donations from the people who are in a monetary position to subscribe to Patreon. And Patreons do get exclusive content specifically for Patreon only. That's really the whole point of that platform. Or if you want something tangible, you can check out the merch in this merch store that's located below, right below the video. All merch designed by me. I also had to buy the merch. It's not something that I get for free. It's not samples that I get. I paid full price just like y'all guys do. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that the designs would be something that I'm comfortable and I would consider wearing. The designs are not too merchy. They could be normal shirts that you wear on an everyday basis. You're not gonna be a walking billboard for me. As you can tell, there's nothing related necessarily to the channel other than the specific phrases that I use and family members know. Like I said before, appreciate everybody's time. Love and care for one another, love and care for each other, and I'll see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.